fear because of outside events. It's actually because I still have fear in my system. And and it's all about clearing these, so I just call them low vibrational energies out of the system.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I am so grateful to be with you. We have another rocket guest. We've got really an amazing spiritual teacher, an awakener, a transmitter, right? So we are going to receive a process and transmissions as part of this whole broadcast today. And I'm sure they're going to be amazing because Eva's amazing. And she's got tremendous insights on awakening, on samadhis, and all this stuff, all kinds of stuff around awakening. So if you're curious about your own path of awakening, there's so many permutations and stages. We're only going to be able to cover so much in our podcast, but we're going to start getting into things like that. And she's absolutely deeply insightful on these things. I can't wait to dive in here. So we'll just do that. So Eva, it's just so wonderful for you to be here today.
Hi, Daniel. Oh, it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I love your enthusiasm. It's awesome.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's let them know a little bit more about you. From a young age, Eva sought purpose, feeling unfulfilled despite her achievements in law, sports, and travel. This sense of emptiness led to emotional suffering, sadness, and even hopelessness. About 5 years ago, she discovered meditation and had a profound experience during a guided session where she entered a deep state of peace and clarity known as Samadhi. This ignited her curiosity and desire to explore deeper spiritual practices. Eva began meditating regularly with spiritual teachers, receiving transformative energy transmissions that heightened her awareness. Over time, she progressed through various levels of consciousness, including self-realization, God consciousness, unity, and Brahman. During unity consciousness, she realized the need to heal emotional wounds and clear low vibrational energies. A transformative event led to her merging with the Divine Mother, followed by the ability to transmit healing energy to others. Now Eva helps thousands worldwide on their spiritual journeys, guiding them toward awakening and healing. How exciting! In this brief period of time, relatively speaking, you're doing all that. That's fantastic, Eva. There's so many people needing help right now, and lots going on. There's all kinds of perspectives on what's going on, right? But there's the whole idea we're going through this global shift that's been ongoing, and with consciousness. And I was just talking to one of my friends that we do almost a weekly meeting with each other to check in with each other, and she said I used to be more positive, but I don't know what it is. And then I started saying, you know what it is? It's social media. It's us consuming all this content and stuff out there that's infused with fear and all kinds of energies. And even if we were, but I watch a lot of the other stuff too, but still we got that density going on. So in some ways, because of that one fact, it's like kind of like the one factor or whatever. It's easier to go into lower vibration than ever before, in my opinion. Like it's very easy. Like a touch of a couple of buttons on your phone. If you want to deliver yourself into fear and panic, you can, if your awakening isn't really deep, you could very easily trigger that fast. I think that's one of the big challenges we're running into, but within every challenge is a massive opportunity for awakening as well. So I was literally talking to her about that. Says, yeah, isn't that interesting though? At the same time, we could utilize like just being still and present with, even if you're trying to be positive and focus on positive stuff online, the other stuff still creeps in, right? Yeah. And so it's like, okay, you have to heighten your ability to be aware. you can't just be lazy with your spiritual practices during parts of the day. Well, I'm doing all this meditation, I do the transmissions, and then all of a sudden you're like in panic, half the day because you're watching all these other videos or something. It's
Yeah.
like, it's quite a time to be awakening, isn't it? I don't know. I just fresh off this conversation with my friend, I wanted to dive right in. I mean, just to talk about this moment that we're in right now and the opportunity and the dangers of it too. It's quite fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It is really fascinating. And I'm very glad you brought this up because exactly it helps so much for awakening what's happening on the outside because it basically shows what we still have in our inside. So
Yes.
this is what I discovered on the spiritual path. So when I'm in fear because of outside events, it's actually because I still have fear in my system. And and it's all about clearing these. So I just call them low vibrational energies out of the system. So it's like it's fear, it's the anxiety, it's the hate, it's the anger, like all these energies, all the suffering we experience throughout this lifetime, the trauma, the inner child trauma, um, and also past life influences. So there are quite a few influences in our system, and it's really about clearing them all out because then even you see these things happening, if you don't experience it yourself, it doesn't trigger anything in your system. It's
Yeah.
like it exists, of course, but it's not like in your personal experience.
Right.
Yeah. So this is
Right.
why it's definitely an amazing time for awakening because it brings up so much stuff for us to look at.
Yes.
And this is where the raising of the consciousness is so valuable because then you're just more aware of what's happening in your own system.
I mean, for me, I'm able to, see different things out there, even if I'm not a big scroller on social media. Probably half the reason why I do any scrolling is just like the idea of like, well, I do want to keep up to date with people to some degree, but it's like, okay, this is supposed to be good for my logarithm to be commenting and connecting with people. It's both, but like honestly, like probably the bigger motivation is this idea that it's helping, us people to also see more of what I'm putting out or whatever.
Mm.
So I just, throw in. But my point is, I'll go through it, and it's like, even though I'm somewhat selective about who I friend. I mean, I just like any random person that sounds halfway decent, like, yeah, okay, friend anybody, it's still, there's people that have get into a firestorm on something, and all of a sudden they're sharing things. And certainly there's times, where it's a pass through, right? Like, oh, it's just that's what they're dealing with, right? But then there's other times when we're going to hit something and it's like, ah.
Yeah.
And the first thing is to attack and to kill or whatever, kind of almost vibration, attack at a minimum, right? If it kills too strong, but like, ah,
Yeah.
you want to respond, And I don't anymore. I used to do
Mm.
it, and I used to always be sparing, even when I did used to respond at times. I don't, because I know, like, okay, I know, like, okay, you're coming from a triggered place, right? So why are you
Yeah.
communicating right now? So it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. We're just adding fuel to the fire and whatever, getting more diluted potentially. So anyway, so don't do that. But my point is that I don't know that, maybe it's true for you and some people. I don't know that there's that many people that could spend any kind of significant time whatsoever on social media and not eventually get triggered. Like have
Mm.
something trigger them. Like it's going
But
to hit
you
you.
still have to have that in your system that you
I,
are able
I,
to
I've
be
been at
triggered.
this for decades. I've been saying that for decades. I get
Yeah.
it. But my
But
point is, but
yeah.
my point is eventually something's going to happen. So one of the things I'm kind of curious about, because you said we have to clear it all out, and
Mm.
I wanted to talk to you about that because I'm very curious about it. Again, I've been at this for decades. All these
Mm.
principles, like these everything you've said so far, anyway, been about
Yeah.
all these things. Okay, so I get this idea. We're going to clear it all out. But the truth is, and again, I told you, like we mix it up here on Spiritual Rock. It's like, what's the deal with that? Because it's like the box of rice that could never be cleansed completely. Even when you enter, like you do, Samadhi, and when I've been at those states, absolutely, like it feels as though nothing could touch us. There's nothing. It's all going to pass through,
Mm.
right? There's no
Mm.
problem. Um, but then somehow, for most people, those states do not last. I mean, it's
Mm.
possible it lasts for a few people here and there.
Mm.
They don't last those type of states, and they never lasted in those ways. But like you get that deeper kind of awakening, that's roots, maybe, you're more in that permanent state. But my point is, like, the idea of clearing it all out is a big debate out there, right?
Mm.
But do you ever really clear it out? Because you might clear it out one level, but then you're going to hit other levels
Yeah.
where you're going to run into those challenges again. So do you believe like there's these lifelong challenges that we have as like core wounds that keep coming back up? Or because to me it's an and or is it possible um that no, we don't ever really clear it all out. We keep bumping up against it because a lot of people say, I thought I cleared all that out, right? And then
Mm.
then it comes up again, right?
Mm.
So without giving my opinion, I'm just curious what your take is on that.
Yeah. Okay, so when I work with people, I work on a level of the emotions. And this is, so it doesn't really matter about the story. The emotions are stored in the system and their energy. And basically, when we look, so we have a trigger, but there usually a story is triggered. So a story
Yeah.
from the past. And we kind of have to look, okay, what's beyond? Like what's the underlying energy there? And there are often layers, of course, right? And then when we get the core layer and we heal that and clear that out, this specific trigger won't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a second part. So this is also something I do in my work. Our system, or a lot of people's system, is quite closed down. So energies are not passing through, they're getting stuck. And a big part of my work is that I help to open up the system so that the energy can just flow all the time. So I call it the life energy, and there's the central energy channel. It goes from the root to the crown chakra. And the optimum way of our system working is that we have an experience, because life is only experiences unfolding, right? So we are in an experience, so we experience it with all the emotions, all the senses, we are in it fully. And when the experience is over, it fully leaves the system without leaving a trace. And this is possible. And this is what I experience all the time. So I am in a situation, I could be annoyed, I could be full of joy and fun and love and whatever like that situation is. I'm in that situation. And then when the situation is over, that energy is fully cleared out of the system and I can't even tap back into it. And what our system does, it has a emotional memory. So for example, we are in a situation, let's say a negative situation, and if that energy doesn't pass through but stays stuck in the system, it stays there. And then let's say 2 weeks later, we think about that situation and we drag exactly that emotion into our present moment, right? And then we experience it in our present moment. And this is basically how usually a normal human system from a regular human who doesn't do any like healing or clearing work works, right? So this is why we don't really experience a present moment, but always a past, and also the future is just the past dragged. The past is dragged into the future. So we always live in the future or in the past, but not really in the present moment. And that's basically the problem. So we need to clear all these stuck energies out of our system, that they are not triggered anymore. And then that the system is open. We live through an experience. We have that experience. Nothing stays there anymore. It doesn't get stuck. It just passes through and that's it. And it's a full of flow. It's just a flow. So basically every day is then just the unfolding of experiences, whichever they are, and we can't tap back into them. We can tap it back into them with our minds, yes, so with the memory of the mind, but not with the emotional memory. So it's not possible. This is basically what I'm doing with my work. So I clear out these low vibrational energies. I help the system to work in a more optimum way. So yeah, that this is not like you clear something and then it comes back. It just means you haven't found the root cause. Yeah. So
So so when it does come back, because it does sometimes, I'm just gonna say that, because you kind of said that right there. When it does come back, that just means the root of it really wasn't clear, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
cool.
often there are layers. Let's say there are 10 layers, and if you clear out 5, it's good. I mean, at least those 5 are gone, but there are still another 5.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today.
But now some people say, certain systems, they look at like human design, all these different ones. They're like, well, the way I interpret their systems, maybe I'm don't know something about them, but very possibly. But like the idea is like, no, this is your bear. You're crossed the kind of bear in this life, and yeah, you can clear it up and but that's your constant process. You're constantly clearing through it, and you might constantly be elevating your consciousness, but there's this core wound that you have that at some levels you can't quite shake completely necessarily. Like maybe you can eventually, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, there's this idea that there's this like, this is your core wound in this life, kind of like defined kind of idea. Is wanting to be a limitless thinker. I don't want to believe that, but this is something a lot of other spiritual teachers talk about. So I was just really curious what your take is on that.
I mean, how I see this in people's systems is really they're all the same. So there is no like core wound or any bigger or less or whatever. It's more like how much identified I am with that emotion, and for how long, and am I actually really wanting to give this up? Because this is often, we have parts, so there are also parts in our system that are holding on to those energies because of misunderstanding reasons, but of positive reasons, like, let's say holding on to fear is always survival, right? So sometimes a part doesn't want to let go of a certain energy because it feels it's serving you,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is it really something you want to get rid of? And just an example of what I did. So I think we probably talk about the levels of consciousness, but when I entered unity consciousness, so we have a mechanism that pushes down all those energies we don't want to feel, right? So it's very easy to push them down. I mean, if there are a lot of them, they bubble up and we can't really, push it down again, but usually we can push a lot of them down. We don't see them, we don't want to interact with them or if experience them. And when entering unity consciousness, this mechanism broke open, and everything I basically, like, I didn't approach before, just burst up. This is how I experienced. So I went through a few months of turmoil, basically, of like depression, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, all of these emotions. It was a really hard time. And then I had the experience of unity, but every time these low vibrational energies came up, it was veiled again. So this is why sometimes, like you said before, people experience high status of consciousness, but they don't stay in them because they are veiled again with those emotions. And I knew that, or I was told by teachers, and then I started working with a healer very regularly, for example, healing out low vibration energies, past life influences, all of that. And also, for example, I did a technique. It was a breathing and pranayama technique to bring out samskaras as karma. And so I was going through a 6 months phase of samskaras coming up. So every other day I was sitting in these very low vibrational energies just for a day or two, while you were there, trying not to create a story out of it. But it often happens, it's just old energies, right? They come up, so stuck energies, they come up, and then of course the mind creates a story. But yeah, anyway, so this was a process over 6 months I did, and I cleared like loads of them out of the system. So that was really, really helpful. And then actually when I was done with that, unity was stable. So it wasn't veiled anymore. I mean, there is a refinement. Unity needs to refine. So every aspect of your being needs to understand or needs to integrate with the unity, so the refinement stage. But like after that, it was just stable. There was nothing veiling it anymore. So just sharing my experience, yeah. And I'm working with a lot of people, for example, who are in unity consciousness or had an experience of that, but are getting veiled because of those energies in their system, still their traumas and all of that.
Nice. So you talked about you needed to clear up those skaras, but not everybody knows that term. So let's cover that. Like,
yeah, it's just karma. Some
karma,
skaras,
right?
So it's the technique is from an Indian guru. So it's an Indian term or a Hindu term for karma. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Which honestly, like I like to have some fun with some of these ideas too. It's like Yeah, create some bad karma. It's going to come back to get you. Come back to get you,
Yeah.
bring it back. So all trying to get you to come back home, right? So you create some karma. Now you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, how I see this is basically we have stuck energies to just
yeah,
break it down very simply, stuck energies from this life experience. And then also there are influences from past life experience. And also there are ancestral influences. It's just energy influences. And because we have still these, and we have these energies, we have a resonance in our system. We basically are connected to those, and they can just be cut or cleared out of our system. Then we don't resonate and we don't experience. And this is, yeah, this is the work I do, and it's very simple on an energetical level. Like I just remove it. So
but however, okay, now I got to do the but however thing, okay, because we
yeah.
got to flesh this out. All right, so however, does everybody make it through this? I mean, 6 months it took you. It's like, is it possible? And I'm not going to go to the serious part of this. People literally end up in emergency rooms and in bed for 6 months, trying to work through this energy. Have you ever run into that personally or with people that you know are going through a process like this? Because I think that's also what sometimes probably stops people from really awakening more fully is they run into these crises energetically, and you need somebody to help you with that. I mean, that's can be well, it can be very debilitating short term at minimum.
I mean, I think it's always really good to have somebody you trust and you can talk to, like a spiritual teacher, a guide, a healer, or somebody. For example, when I had she had the shift into unity and then experienced all these low vibration energies, it was a really hard time for me, because it wasn't just the low vibration energies, but I was seeking unity consciousness, thinking my life is going to be awesome and great and better and full of bliss and joy and love, but it wasn't like that, right? First of all,
Right.
the ego stepped into the background so that the energy gets withdrawn from the ego. So the ego did get what it wanted. So that was really hard. So when they say it feels like dying, yes, it kind of felt like dying, right? And then also so I see the small self, I saw it as just a ball of energy. So it's like what we identified with sitting here in the chest area. This is how I experienced it, and this was removed. So that what I thought who I am was just removed out of my chest, and there was like a hole left, an energetic hole. And I was so sensitive. I felt like beings. I couldn't even have coffee or sugar or anything. So it was like like my consciousness was all over the place. It was just a very hard time. And I was just lucky to have a really good teacher at that time. And also I meditated with Mother Mira. You probably know her, or I don't know if you know her. She's an avatar. Yeah. And so incarnation of the divine mother. So just by meditating with her, she also has a transmission, and just trusting her, guiding me through this process, and having this teacher just really helped me to overcome that. And I've experienced this with other people as well, who I was guiding through crisis like that. So it's really good to have somebody who can just share from their perspective what's happening for you, that you just stay on it, just trust the process and all of that. So I guess this is the most important part, that you just have somebody you can rely on.
Yeah, I mean, I have a client that's, I've had clients obviously through the work I do with training healers and helping them thrive in their businesses and stuff, go through these experiences. Yeah, I mean, it's invaluable to be able to, when you're going through that, to have somebody that can help you to realize what's going on in the process from your perspective, at least, and help guide them. And then also be able to take them through processes and stuff to help them go through it too, like you do. Like, I can't wait. We're about to do that soon, probably, the transmissions and everything, because there's nothing like experiencing, what it's like. I mean, I do have a kind of a question, because we're going to go into an experience soon with this, the transmissions of higher truth, or I'll let you explain what it all is. But at the same time, like, what I'm thinking is, like, the amount of times I've experienced a sense of through a clearing or something is a lot, right? Every time we do a deep meditation, and then most of us, though, we get back into the world, we're like,
Yeah.
So my point is, like, what is it about these transmissions? Like, it's because we're really digging in it a deeper, with deeper, stronger or something, in a way that, because the other thing that happens, like, I feel like some people just live to get spiritually high on the weekends, and in their spare moments, and then a lot of a lot of the other part of their life is still with a lot of challenges, right? So is there something different with your teaching and your transmissions and everything that really helps people not just become, and I know you already kind of answered this, but I'm fleshing it out more, like not just get high for a while and like, well, yeah, this is great, but they're never grounded. Some people say they're awakened, but they're very ungrounded people. Yeah, I'm in bliss and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they're off the grid for a month because they crashed. Because you can't sustain being in a certain vibration if you're not grounded, right? So I'm curious how your approach like helps to maybe ground people more, or get deeper in there in a way where it's not just getting spiritually high all the time, or I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to experience bliss and the spiritual highs, but it's just part of the process, and there are highs and lows, so it's good to have the highs, but there are lows as well. The transmission works on a cellular level. So it comes in, you're sitting in it, you can either meditate with it or just receive it like during the day. There are different ways, I can share that later. And then it works on a cellular level and then transforms your system on that level towards your personal highest truth. So everything that's not of your highest truth, and everybody has highest truth is different, right? Is going to start falling away. So this could be emotional baggage. So you could go through a hard time, that stuff is getting released, or let's say a job falls away, people fall away from your life partner, friends, whatever. So this could happen. And then it pulls you towards your personal highest truth. So meaning the best possible teacher for you in this moment comes in, or the best possible meditation, the best possible book, or even job. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's your whole life. It contains your whole life. It's not just spiritual awakening, but it's part of it, because that's what we are on. We're all on a spiritual journey, right? So this is basically what the transmission is doing. And yes, of course, when you sit with it feels really pleasant. It's very enjoyable. I mean, sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable when stuff gets cleared, but usually it's really, really enjoyable. It also stays on for longer. So not when you get up, it stops. It just stays on. It continues working on a system, and you just connect and reconnect and reconnect, and it works more and more and more. And then over a certain amount of time, you will just see your transformation. So you transform your system, and not the mind is part of it, but it's not just mind stuff, right? It's actually experiential stuff. It's system stuff. So energy body stuff, and this transforms the whole life experience.
Yeah. The reason I'm holding back on the transmissions temporarily is because I know once we get into them, I don't know how much more there'll be to say, but because I haven't experienced it before. But one of the concerns I could see maybe people have is that maybe they don't want to let go of this stuff. They might be like, oh, with the transmissions, I get a little anxious. Maybe I should get off of this podcast.
Yeah.
But I would encourage
Yeah.
people to sit through that initial discomfort, right, and then get to the other side. But my point is, like, also people are concerned are concerned about being more free. I really do. I think people are like, what's that like? And like, I don't have these old drivers to motivate me and have me do these things that I think I enjoy right now. And am I going to lose all my motivation? Am I just going to be sitting around want to meditate all day? Am I going to be able to keep my job? And, how do you address those concerns? Some people may not want to enter into the work worrying about how much is going to change in their life. Am I going to get a divorce? Am I going to, I'm sure you get these questions sometimes. I'm curious what your answer is to all that.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on, do you want to live your personal highest truth? Do you want to live the best possible life? Or do you just want to live the one you have? And if you are happy and you're fulfilled, you're probably not on the spiritual path, because there are mostly people who are not happy and fulfilled. So they're seeking something different, something better, something higher. And I guess a lot of people are very willing to just let go of what's not serving them anymore, and they are open. And of course, there's fears in the system. So that's the difference, right? The fear of letting go, of losing something that's valuable, and so on. But usually, so most people, they let go these things by themselves, by their free will. So it's not really that it falls away. I mean, it can happen sometimes, but it just means it was really wrong for them. You know, it was like actually really wrong. But usually it's a choice, you know, okay, I don't want to meet this and that friend anymore because we don't have the same interest, or I don't, my relationship hasn't been good actually when I look into it for the past 5 years. I should probably let go of it and let something new come in, you know. So it's actually a choice. You just realize these things, you see them better, you know. Yeah, so it's always most of the times it's a choice.
Tends to be a feeling of a natural, just like, oh, this just is what wants to happen, so obviously I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah, it's more a gentle unfolding, you know. And of course, when there is emotions involved, fear, for example, okay, when I leave my partner, and let's say I don't have enough money, what do I do? There's fear coming up. Let's just say there's a situation. So, and this is then why people rather stay in the relationship before they go. But then there is like this trust that needs to be there, and this is also being transmitted in a transmission, or people receive that as well. Just this trust in life, you know, in life is providing, you know, there is actually abundance there. We just don't know it, or we don't see it because we're not connected to that energy yet. But actually there is abundance for everybody, meaning having everything you need in the present moment, that's there for everybody. So just an example. So basically it's just trusting the process of life. This is very important. And it's not us living, so life is flowing through us and we're just experiencing it.
Right.
That's the difference.
I totally with you. I talk about that one a lot. So
okay, yeah. So
the stone here I've used for a long time.
All right.
And I always tell my people in my training, trust the process. It's kind of one of the mantras.
Yeah. And
right?
and just an example, like how what helped me was, I mentioned it before, was Mother Mira. So I was just meditating with her. I was just praying or asking her for help in certain ways, and I received. And now, from seeing from an energetic level, because I work with the energies, I just see what praying does to our system, or asking. It opens up our system for a higher possibility, and then this possibility can come in. And when we ask, we can receive the help, because before it's like we don't really receive, because it would be interference with our free will. So if we ask, it means we can receive, right? So because some people don't really like the word praying, or you can just, you know, write the universal letter if you want to as well, or whatever, in whichever way you like to do it. But it's really just the act of being open, receptive, and asking for what you want, so that this can come in. And yeah, and this is a possibility. Oh yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. I prayed to Mother Mira. I asked her to help me going through that process of awakening, to give me the best possible tools and all of that. And yeah, and when I had questions, the answers somehow came to me, you know. So, and then the more you experience that, the more your trust is there, and then eventually the trust turns to knowing. You don't need trust anymore, because you just know.
Right.
You know, it's like that. Life is for you. It's not against you. Just know that. But you need trust until the knowing is there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally. Well, I'm going to let you take over then, and do whatever you want. Like, you want to do the transmissions, or tell them about it first, then do it, or whatever. You may as well just give it over to you now. I mean, I've got to just flesh out a good show, so we know all what there is to know about this as fast as we can.
Yeah. Okay, great. So basically what you can do is, when you listen, I mean, if you are at home in a quiet environment, it would be great if you can just meditate along. Just close your eyes, meditate along. You don't need to do any other spiritual practice or anything. Just be in a very open, receptive state, and be very relaxed. So the more relaxed the body is, the more the system opens up, and the more the transmission can come in and work in your system. And if you are, let's say, listening to this while driving, it's fine. Like, nothing will happen. Maybe you have time later on and sit with it again. So I would recommend, because it's you draw your attention inward, of course, right? When you close your eyes, and when you're like driving or do something, it's not so much inward, but maybe you feel the energies anyways. Okay. And I will just do a guided meditation. So I bring in the transmission, and what I'm doing is I just share what I see, and I also assist it by opening the system and stuff like that. Okay, I will just remove my headphones because I'm working with my hands, by the way.
Okay.
So I'm for people who are watching, I'm using my hands as like opening the system and for opening the system and stuff like that. So
Fantastic.
you will see. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay, then now please, Daniel, close your eyes and meditate
right.
along.
Beautiful.
For how long should we do this? Just that I
10 to 15 at the 10-ish, if that's possible.
10 minutes?
10 to 15 at the most, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just need a minute to tune in and then I start talking.
Okay.
Okay, I start with opening up the energy field. Bring in light. Then I expand the energy field. Expanding the energy field helps to hold more light in your system, and also more awareness comes with that as well. And the energy field can always be more expanded. And light is pure information. So basically higher information comes in and can then be in our system and transform our system. So this is why we want to have a more expanded system. And also then when we have a more expanded system, we are basically radiating more light as well. Okay, so I'm expanding. Then I fill up the expanded space with more light. Then I clear surface energies. So surface energies are just energies and emotions that are floating around the top of your system. So basically energies you've been exposed to over the last 1 or 2 days, or emotions that have been triggered over the last 1 or 2 days, and I'm clearing them. Because we don't need them at the moment. And maybe you can feel your system getting a bit calmer and the body getting more relaxed. The more of those surface energies are getting cleared. And also more light is entering the system because there is more space. Okay. And the light is now specifically working on the third eye chakra. So I'm assisting it. Okay, then I clear energies out of the third eye chakra. So just stuck energies, blockages. So blockages around connecting to specifically a higher truth, or God, the Divine Mother, the universe, just to something, to a higher aspect. So I'm clearing those blockages so that you can connect more. And then also crown chakra. I clear also blockages out of the crown chakra. And then heart chakra, and specifically what we talked about before is now coming up, so the trust. So I basically clear, so heart chakra is always identification, parts of you that are not trusting. So I don't trust the process, I don't trust the process, I don't trust the process, I don't trust other humans, I don't trust specific teachers or spiritual teachers, I don't trust healers, I don't trust people who want to help me in the path of spiritual awakening. I don't trust that anybody can help me. I don't trust because I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I'm not sure because I don't really know what to do and where to go and what to do. I don't really know. So I don't really trust because I feel I don't know. Okay, just clear that. I'm basically just sharing what I see. I don't trust the process. I don't trust the process. I don't trust the process. I don't trust life. I don't trust life. I don't trust life. I don't trust life because it's me. It's me who's doing it. It's me who is doing it. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge of life. Okay, I clear those energies as well. Maybe you can feel how the system is getting more relaxed now, because it's a lot of tension to think that we are in charge and that we are the ones who are living our lives. It's a lot of responsibility. So by tuning into your system, maybe you can feel how it's more relaxed. As this untruth could go. Then also I clear, I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go because I don't trust. I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go. Then also I clear fear, root chakra. I clear fear of the unknown, fear of the unknown, fear of the unknown, fear of the unknown, and fear of that something bad might happen in the future, and that you can't predict the future. And there is fear around this, there is fear around this, there is fear around this, fear. Especially around spiritual awakening, there is fear of not knowing what's going to happen, and fear around letting go, fear around letting go, fear around letting go. Then heart chakra, I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go, I don't want to let go. I want to stay and be in charge, I want to be in charge, I want to be in charge, I want to be in charge. So I'm clearing. So open up the energy field more. Always when I open up the energy field more, the light can enter deeper layers. And now an energy is coming in with the information of trust. So the energy comes in and it comes in into every cell of your body and brings in the information of trust in every cell of your body, trusting into life experience. And this basically means that you can live more from there, so more from the trust. So it's not an intellectual choice, it's just something that's more there for you because it's in your system, it's manifested in your system. That information is changing in your system, so everything that's not of trust is being worked on, and the energy of trust comes in. And also maybe you can feel when there is more trust coming in, that the system relaxes more, the body relaxes more. And then I clear out of the heart chakra, you are in charge, or I am in charge, you are in charge, both energies. So the saying to you, you are in charge, and you think I am in charge. So I'm clearing them. It also helps, it's a relief for the system. And I also clear worries around that something negative might happen. So when you let go of things and you trust that something negative might happen, something that you don't prefer, that you don't want, that you don't prefer. So clear those energies. And I also clear pains out of the heart chakra. So pains from past situations where you felt like you weren't looked after and you kind of lost trust, or you weren't supported. So you lost trust in life, you lost the trust in the universe, in God, Divine Mother, whatever aspect you're open towards. So clear those energies. The pain around losing the trust, not feeling supported. So clear that pain. And then the energy with the information comes in. You are always supported. You're always supported. You're always supported. And again, it's information for the system, so that you just can live more from there, from that information, from that truth. Okay, then I'm gonna close it. It takes a minute. I will let you know when it's over, and the energy continues working on your system for a while now. Okay.
Okay, that's fantastic. Oh, wow. I just letting people come back without me talking too loud right away. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, that was really, really, really cool. And in one level, I want to say it was it was along the lines of what I thought it would be, the experience in terms of like it opens and opens it's opening my energy, but it's also it's more grounding. Some people are going to take it to the highest realms and dimensions, and people are leaving their bodies, and then once they come back into the body, they're like, yeah, it's about the same. Like, so what I liked about this, I feel like I'm right here in the process, and you're just opening, the heaviness just starts to melt away, and yeah, I felt that expansion. So that was really, really cool. It was really powerful. And I feel like, yeah, like, so with continued transmissions like this, like, before you know, you're gonna be like, what problems? What problems do I,
Yeah, exactly. No, it's exactly what you said. It's also grounding because it's supposed to be practical. Like we have a human experience and we want to have that experience, not an escape. Because in the end, spiritual awakening, you go through all these levels of consciousness, and then in the end, you come back having a human experience and just embracing this fully, So this is really what this is about right away. So it doesn't like take you away from the human experience. It just wants to have you a better human experience and then realizing your true nature at the same time. So basically the embodiment of the enlightenment is happening at the same time while you are going towards that, right? So not up and then you have to embody afterwards. It's happening at the same time. So
yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's not what you see every day, so that's really good stuff. Yeah, I have to experience this. I definitely highly recommend this. And everybody else that's listening had their own experience with it, but I imagine they enjoyed it quite a bit. Let us know. Let us know how you experienced this. Wherever you are, there's probably an ability to comment. So yeah, so
I can just mention right away, because when I have a free healing meditation, which is on every Thursday at 9 o'clock Central European time. So everybody's very welcome to join if you want to experience that again. It's a 15-minute meditation. It's also guided, and we're a big group, and it's always lovely. So yeah.
How do we and we'll have a link for that, but that's basically how they access that, is just to have them click on the link in the show notes, right? So that's what we're doing on that one.
Yeah, and then there's a password, so you need to send me an email for the password, for the Zoom password, and then
and that's for the transmissions of highest truth, right?
This is for the guided meditation. This is for the
guided, this is different.
this
Okay.
A free guided meditation. Yeah, I offer.
There's more goodies than I was even aware of. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And it's so great. That's wonderful that that's available for free, which goes to show your desire to just to share and to give, and it's fantastic. And then I also know you have an ongoing, opportunity for people to get these transmissions. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So basically the transmission that was coming through, so I just call it the base transmission. It's everywhere in my work. So it doesn't matter, YouTube videos, small group meditations here. It always comes through, but I am the channel. And this new project I just discovered a few months ago, I call it Next Elevations, is that I can connect people directly to that transmission 24/7, and they don't need me as a channel anymore. So that's pretty convenient. So that means you are in that transmission 24/7. And this just speeds up the process a lot, because you're always in meditation, but you don't really need to meditate. You can, of course, if you want, you can sit down, you will have a experience of a transmission coming in, but it basically follows you around all day and all night, and you're just in it while you're going through your everyday life, and the transmission is transforming your system on a cellular level while doing that, and it pulls you towards your personal highest truth, what I shared before. And it's an unfolding process. And basically what happens, so some people might feel energies, and that's amazing, but if you don't feel it, it doesn't really matter. It's not about feeling it. It's really more how it's manifesting your life experience, and also how it changes your system. And what it does over time is really life gets more effortless. It just unfolds in a nicer, more joyful way. You feel more elevated, you have more motivation, more energy. Maybe, I don't know, some people are more elevated and more motivated to start doing sports, eat healthier, like I said before, the right meditation comes in at the right time, or the right teacher. Everything is just unfolding. Opportunities are coming in. Of course, things can fall away. Emotional stuff can also come up for some people, but it's more a gentle way. And yeah, so this is something I just discovered, that I can actually connect people directly without needing me as a channel. And yeah, there is a website, the Next Elevation website, and this is where you can get it. And we have a 2 weeks free trial. And yeah, I would recommend, if you feel drawn to that, just try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it is free. I mean, I'm right here on the page right now, and there'll be a link in the show notes for you to go ahead and access this. And there's, a further video on here that explains it. It's a beautiful page, lots of testimonials of what people are experiencing. We've got, I was skeptical, but after benefiting from her healing sessions and knowing her, had to give it a try, and it goes on and on. But it's been like being on a retreat for 24/7, this person goes on to say, right? So if you're skeptical, that's okay. It's just our resistance saying, I don't know. So you got nothing to lose on this one, guys. But yeah, only what you decide. It's your choice, of course. If you want to experience this, there's better relationships, health, spiritual connection, focus, concentration, personal growth. There's all kinds of opportunity. You name it, kind of. You have access to that by going through this. So I'm looking at it. We've got it for pets. We've got it for home and workspace. We've got energy bundle for everything. We've got a lot of opportunities in here. Check all this out. It's you're getting a lot, from this. And I've experienced a lot of transmissions, and probably a lot of people have here, but these are what I love about it is very, very cleansing and grounding, and it helps you to just be in the now too. I mean, it just helps you to be in the eternal. We all say we need to be in oneness. Well, this is what's helping you to ground and relax into it, and just simply be there, right? Just be where you already are and experience that and deepen and be in that state of presence and knowing, because the infinite present doesn't have a question mark or wonder if it should trust life. It just is. So anyway, see the free trials here, and I'm definitely going to check it out more. And just really grateful for what you brought through with the process and the transmissions. This is really, really great stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. I'm very glad that you enjoyed it, and thank you, for sharing what you just did. And I recommend people, if you're skeptical, if you want to know more about it, there are a lot of videos, explanation videos on the page. So because
Yes.
it's how can I subscribe to something and receive a transmission, right? So it's like it's something kind of new. So there are videos that explain all that, and so that people know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I even said, I didn't say I'm signing up just yet. I got a tiny little skeptic in me still. I got to look at those videos and check it out myself, but I'm going to. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Eva, this is fantastic. We're gonna get a few more words from you for sure before we wrap all this up. But I'm just watching the time go on. I could spend hours with you because this just feels so good. But we just went through. But we're at our time of the show to go into our energy scan segment. All right, to get some downloads for the guests. And so are you ready to receive a couple downloads?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
I'm excited.
Okay, fun.
What do I need to do?
What's that again?
What do I need to close my eyes, or what do I need
Yeah,
to
you
do?
might want to. You can do as you like, but everybody else listen in, because again, there may be something in the downloads for you. Okay, well, here we go. I take a moment to tune in too. Nice. Okay, yeah, it gets all kinds of things come through these downloads. So I just share what I can here. So what I just got is you have this exuberance. I don't know. I feel like maybe again I'm hazard. I don't usually hazard the person who it was in your life, but I don't know. I get this sense that there's this enthusiasm that you have. Let me just put it this way. I see this enthusiasm that you have. I see this connection. Maybe it's the images I was affected by on your site. I don't know what was even there anymore, but in terms of images, but like all I know is like I get the sense of you being by water and the beach and stuff like that. And I don't get this all the time with people. And I just get this exuberance and other images came in, birds, doves and stuff, whatever, something like that. And I just got this feeling like you're so excited and like it's almost like it's not like it's not like a temporary feeling, but it's like this Christmas Day is finally here, yay. And it's just this exuberance and it's like a finally kind of thing too. It's like finally here we go, and so I feel like this is an exuberance that you always sense that you could experience, that you're tapped into now, and somehow you always kind of knew, is how it comes to me. And now that you're in it, you're like, thank goodness. I also get, this is what I was trying to talk about earlier, because again I get a lot at once. It's feeling of like maybe there's some creepy fake people in your life, in the past, maybe even current, I don't know, but like there used to be maybe fake kind of exuberant people, in a way the fake. I mean, like they were exuberant, but like they might be manipulative and all that kind of stuff, like in a way that was not good. And I saw that energy come through, and I had the sense that it was someone in your life. Now, we don't have to figure that out today, but it was something that came through. And so that's been part of the healing process, is to trust your exuberance, because you couldn't trust like this person, for example. You couldn't trust them. They might, oh my God only knows what they're going to put, what kind of situation they're going to take you into. So, so it's fantastic that, this is happening for you, based on this wound that I sense in you, which again, I just share what comes through, and it just tends to be accurate. So
Mhm.
anyway, so, even that's one. There's like three in one, but, there's like one download. I'll do one more briefly and then we'll go from there and we'll talk about it if you like. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the word team comes through, and they're showing me images with that. So obviously the angelics and all that, right? Angelic team, all that good stuff. But also I just really felt like you really are suited to have a team that supports your work, and many levels. So in terms of as an organization or business, however you look at it or however you have it set up, but also in terms of, you know, more and more people sharing this and doing this work, like facilitating the work is how it came to me. So, so yeah, it's really beautiful, like the sense of all this team all working together. So that was really strong in the field. So it's not like I'm just a guru that does it. Felt like we're going to expand beyond. Not that it's wrong what you're doing now whatsoever. Okay, it's just I'm saying like it's going to expand. That's all. So, all right. So Eva, I'd love to hear any reflections of what came through.
Yeah, all accurate. Okay, first part, definitely. I always knew that what I'm experiencing now is somewhere out there, and this is what I was looking throughout my life. So this is the life purpose, basically, which is not a purpose now, it's just life, but I thought it's a life purpose, this freedom of all the human stuff, basically, and doing what I love, right? So this is what I was looking for years, and it's here. I'm living it. So definitely that was accurate, that there was a person pain around or hurting or what did you say,
Manipulative, a person is like bright and like exuberant, but you couldn't trust them. Like, yeah, manipulative, it felt like. And
yeah, I mean, there is a person who I really trusted, but the trust fell away. So maybe that's that. I think that's what you meant, actually, because this happened a few months ago. So,
okay,
and I
okay,
still, it's still kind of present because it's kind of sad. This
yes,
is just how it is. And the third one, yes. So this is actually my enthusiasm at the moment. I want to build a community of I don't really know what it is yet, but this is definitely something I want to build. And the next elevation is part of that, so that the funds that are coming in are part, they will be used to build a team. And also I want to have people who are working in a similar field or in the same field, but just in their ways. I want to have them on board and we do something together. So yeah, definitely. That's something I'm looking into right now. So yeah,
Right.
all accurate.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so grateful. I
Great. Really
love
cool.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it. So, everybody, if you want to experience some energy scanning consultation from me, if you're so inclined, you're one of these light leaders who wants to rock, or you just want to get things going in the first place, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. I have a Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation there, where I provide these downloads. This was a formal, consultation or something with Eva. We would talk more about that then. We got stuff to talk about. Okay, what about this team? And see where she's at and where things want to go. But also, during the consultation, I go through all your chakras and to see what's going on with your energies and what can be done to address those things too, and to develop your plan for your purpose, your business, and all those things, because I help with all those things. So you can check that out at my website. Also, there's a free meditate and make money meditation on my site. So definitely want to get that one. It'll open your energy up, get the abundance energy frequency going with money, and you ask your guides, and just opens you up overall to what wants to unfold and from that place of flow, right? So again, I always say, people say it's coded with something. I'm like, I'm sure it is. Something was coming through beyond just money, right? It's a higher frequency stuff comes through. So check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. All right, Eva, you get the last word. Absolutely. So any last words you want to share with the audience today?
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much for having me on. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I just really loved your tuning into my system and sharing that as well. That was really, really cool. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for everybody who's listening. Very, very amazing that we could do this together today, Danielle, and I hope people are benefiting. And yeah, so thank you.
It's so awesome to have you on, Eva. I'm so grateful you've come on the show today. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
All right. And everybody listening in, like I always say, keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone. For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.